This video is related to Sonia Breznik. This video is related to Boštjan Poklukar, Ukar. He was directly involved in this crime. The word, as you might already guess, is about a letter from Specialized State Prosecutor's Office, Department for Investigation, Prosecution of Officials with Special Authorities. You have a Sonia Breznik's letter. Right down below here is her letter, and it's really easy to get one translated. That's why I did not translate one. You can just insert this in a Google engine and off you go. It's a lunacy. It's a total lunacy. I don't have anything else to say than this is a pure lunacy. 100% lunacy. There is nothing legit about this letter. This letter was written by Slovenian side together with a British. This was the letter that was composed with now King Charles together to present the most outlandish, bizarre, stupid, unreal, total misconception of my complaints submitted through Novo Mesto police station against its director Igor Juršić, Janez Ogulin, and basically entire police department of Novo Mesto, as well as against Slovenian state. And they did this stuff so stupid, bizarrely done, deliberately have exaggerated with the letter, due to what I was brainwashed with during MK Ultra. It's going to be deliberately done in such a way so that would expose Slovenian justice system as completely hollow. This is not done by the Novo Mesto police station. I did demonstrate to you Minister of Interior. His name is Boštjan Poklukar. Nataša Pirc-Musar, that's the president of Slovenia. This is 100% as anything can possibly be written by Milan Kučan, who insisted on British to handle the justice for him. Just as they handled one for Karadzic, and they handled justice, the International Tribunal for Slobodan Milošević, Mladić, etc., etc. That's basically issuing fake death certificates. In this case, what they want to do is they want to annul my complaint through taking over the justice system, and it's basically my life entirely, and then shit one out through the rear is nothing, basically, with a single fart, without actually taking care of these criminals in a way that's supposed to be done through the justice, through the courts. This is to hijack criminal law. This isn't about police, justice, whatever, but it's about hijacking literally a criminal law along with the constitution, laws, international human rights organizations, courts, Interpol, FBI, Europol, you name it, police organizations, absolutely everything. That's what this letter is about. Letter is about to make Slovenian justice system look as shit, deliberately made in such a way so they could excuse King Charles for his share of crime pertaining to this case. That's what this is about. Instead of stopping extermination procedure against me in 2010, when it was more than evident through Göteborg, through Karlstad, where I pointed out existence of MK Ultra, they just threw me into psychiatric hospital, intensify already unbearable violence into even greater degree, did everything they possibly could to get rid of me, and somehow the numbers just did not add up for them. And so then all this shit culminated in, it did not then, but it was all along. They always had a backup plan that they ran parallel to other software programs. It's like you would run Windows, Linux, and I had no idea what else at the same time parallel, which that will create a great deal of problems. First of all, it's not even possible to do, but a human brain can process, I'm not going to say multitasking, but simultaneously can process problems, multiple problems, and as long as you don't mix them up, you keep them separate from one another, then you're just gonna, I guess, make it through. In this video, this is the presentation video for this letter. I am just going to point out whatever Boštjan Poklukar, Natasha Pirc-Musar, British alone, pointed me out is the biggest proof, and is the proof I most likely, together with Robert Golob and all that, I am not going to even see. Entire police station, Novo Mesto, was familiarized with this crime. They just would not stop and do whatever is required by the law to do, or allow other law enforcement institutions, programs, organizations to step in and get it over with. They just managed somehow to solicit from the U.S. Justice Department of State, FBI, everybody to just bow them down, and it was always about, give us one more chance, one more chance, one more chance. And that's how 53 years of my life was literally depleted, turned into zero. In this video, this is going to be a very short video. I was instructed during MK Ultra to point you out. Let me demonstrate you this on a camera so that you can see two things. And that's basically, one would be document from my father that would confirm exactly his birth date and arrival of the letter. This is the letter that you see right here. The letter that you have seen right there is already scanned for you, so you'll be able to see what I'm demonstrating you right there with a clarity, scanner clarity. But you can see right here the date is 11/4/2025. Anyhow, I did not pick up the letter on a day earlier, which was on the 10th, April the 10th of 2025, right? And I did not pick one up on the next day on April 11 of 2025, and honestly, I did not even hear anybody ringing or anything like that. This is the document I'm going to be using. This is completely legitimate. I'm not going to be using father's ID, but this is his ID. It's called Zdravstvena iskaznica. And you can also see the birth date. You can see right here. You can see 11/5/1932. You can see right here. That's, you're gonna also scan that stuff. I'll present you that stuff. So you can see that in a great detail. And this is what they told me. This is already the biggest proof that the letter we're gonna send to you is a piece of shit, practically, a bullshit. They told me if you manage to point this out, you already have won this case. Yeah, I did, because I did spoke about preemptively about the death threats pointed at my father's birthday. You're talking about the death threats that went on for at least 20 years by the psychiatry cops, local Novo Mesto, Peter Kopsch, psychiatrist Peter Kopsch. It's a German name, Kopsch, but the guy was notoriously known to imitate Lavrenti Beria, and have also stated me that according to my writing, if I will be leaning more toward left, left not really, but against Germany, he would be just wiping off his pictures of the internet that were reminding of his MK Ultra brainwash pertaining to Lavrenti Beria. This guy demanded from me to see in him a Russian. Let me demonstrate you what Google now is demonstrating Peter Kopsch. That's a Peter Kopsch. He's got still his private office located right there, as you see it. Because as you go scroll down, there is very, very, very little trace, however, left of him, of his presence on the internet. He rather looks like a skinhead right here. And then you have just a few more pictures that remind of him. This is another man who was involved in the case, and there is no more Peter Kopsch. Out of some 100 pictures that he had posted under the Google, all the pictures disappeared, leaving nothing other than his skinhead picture here. All the Lavrenti Beria USSR pictures, Serbia great, everything is gone. Now Mr. Peter Kopsch, just as he stated he would do, wants to be more aligned to Germans. Obviously, Slovenia is since 2004 a member of NATO and of the European Union, and it will be more convenient for psychiatrist Peter Kopsch to see himself now as part of conspiracy from the West against me, so that he could be also protected, just as Robert Golob, Milan Kučan, just as I explained in this at the beginning of this video, they shifted to completely other option. But I want to thank Alexander Vučić for reminding me a little bit more about what went on. I actually like Vietnamese and Chinese. That's too damn bad. I did post this stuff here. It's a bit funny, this stuff. Truly, it's a bit funny. I am not really the one to fuck with. That's a very, very, very wrong address they found. He involved eventually Azerbaijani, Azeri president and his wife, who wasted no opportunity to remind me of a Vietnamese Communist Party, as really it's called, General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam. I never could understand. I spent so much time with this couple, with wife, his beautiful wife that you see right there, whose name they pronounce in Azerbaijan to remind me urgently. No Phone Lee. And as you Google that, I was gonna do it to see her, who she is, etc., how she looks. But the only thing I had to do is basically read journalist profession, and make no mistake, I knew all about it. How much time did I spend with this couple? A whole lot, just like with Xi Jinping and with others, and with the Japanese, and in every Asian country, a whole lot, a lot. She was very, very interested back in the day dating me. She wanted me as a husband back in the day, which is really nice. It makes me want to say thank you, even that it did not happen, but this lady liked me. So I don't know. I hope all is good, because I don't have any hard feelings against Chinese Communist Party or Vietnamese Communist Party. I don't have any kind of feelings. If it works for you, and if it makes you happy, if this is how you do it, and it looks like you're doing really well, and as long as you keep peace, you don't get into, it's all good. It does not bother me, definitely not. Alexander Vucic reminded of heavy instigation, in addition to everything I explained, pointed out in my blog, against the communism. And the communism was affiliated with me being labeled as a neo-Nazi, brainwashed into hater, into something that nobody in my family really could affiliate himself to, due to my, they did because they wanted to get rid of me. My niece did, her husband did, and they really did so with a lot of, with everything they had to get it done with. And it just didn't work. I did explain the issues behind both sides of my family that have absolutely nothing to do with the Nazism, quite contrary. Actually, everybody was a communist, was enrolled in the Communist Party. I am not a communist. I'm not interested in communism, but I am definitely interested in a friendship with whoever is interested in a friendship. I'm going to put it this way, that I am. So there you have it. This was the last one I got, the last beautiful reminder. Very nice. Oh, this guy, how can I say what they did with the Slovenian police in respect to what they anticipated is going to be explosion of hatred against wife of the Vietnamese, secretary. I don't understand why that's just not a president, whatever. But they call it the secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party, whatever. Vietnam. Okay, cool, nice. What was, they believe it's going to be, well, they declared the war on me through the letter I demonstrated you. Novo Mesto police was certain that I'm going to stay without the phone, and with the Novo Mesto police also others like those from London and like the one from Washington DC, his name is Donald Trump, and the rest of the pack. Lots of royals, everybody concerned about this blog, etc., but not concerned about actions they were taking, not concerned about stuff they were doing or not doing. Violating, I should say. No. It was more about, actually it was really about no phone Lee. So it was very nice. I'm sure you understand my feeling about no phone Lee when you get the letter like I demonstrated you, where it's actually told that it was found by Nachalnik Andrei Stefanic. That's basically a substitute of Novo Mesto police director, his substitute, Igor Jurčić, a substitute of Igor Jurčić, that there was no crime committed, etc., lies, bizarre lies, written that it was all good when I met with the police officers first time on June the 21st, 2020. Well, there was no problem. There was nothing. There was no problem with it. except that we almost had a physical fight and everything was audio recorded and placed on the internet. And yes, it can be seen right here under October the 30th. Also under October the 30th, but the easiest way. Whatever they have done to my blog, I have no idea what they have done to one. But this is how it all started in the audio of June 21st, 2024. It's actually right there with my exploding back in their face, demanding the video recording of the incident in the premises of the police department, explaining them that I actually audio recorded them, that I actually audio recorded the whole thing. And so it's kind of surprising when you get assurance afterwards, you know, that there was no violence, that everything was okay, there was no problem whatsoever, and that I actually communicate with the state due to MK Ultra complaint, because according to Slovenian state, the MK Ultra never existed. Paranormally, that I paranormally, telepathically communicate. Actually, she did not mention paranormally. This is the only thing that she did not mention. But how far are you from paranormal and telepathically? She claimed, talking about the Sonia Breznik prosecutor, that I telepathically communicated with state officials, police officers, state basically, that I telepathically communicated with them. This is a truly definition of a total lunacy designed to stress one, remind one of the psychiatric letters that I received when dumped literally into the psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje, where they were just writing themselves right in front of me. Nothing I stated, did whatever they wanted to write on their paperwork, basically to get me killed, and with absolutely nobody questioning them, because that was the point. The point was that nobody, absolutely nobody, questioned their writings. Nobody, nor from United Nations, to whom I complained, not from the U.S. Embassy, from the U.S. Justice Department, FBI, CIA, anybody, absolutely anybody. As you know, I am also a U.S. citizen since 2000. This letter reminded of exactly the same type of attitude. It's like he's saying basically, bye, you're all alone, and we just write whatever the fuck we want, and yeah, hey, you're gonna take it. The next step, it's a court where we take your telephones, audios, videos, everything you have from the internet, of the internet. And this is how they already using by a correctional officer, police officer at the court where I was. That's a good one. It was a police officer. They had me at the court in Novo Mesto, and then they also had me at the Supreme Court in Ljubljana. And in Novo Mesto, there was this police officer, correctional officer, right next to me, standing. I was jucked up in front of the judge, in front of the judges, in front of at least two judges. And he would be standing right next to me and started to harass me during MKH about what I have in the pockets, if I'm recording, and this and that, and so on, and back and forth. Started to go in my pockets during MK Ultra, harass me, stood just few centimeters away from me at the court in Novo Mesto, with the judge bullying me, basically, mistreated me, as per it's exactly how. And it was also Americans involved in it, who insisted me to put several videos online to remind me of how not to act in front of the judge, how the judge is practically His Majesty, His Royal Highness, practically, honor, I don't know what else, to not get locked. And then they antagonized with the jail, with the prison in the US, prison cells, all kinds of stuff. And at the same time, they suggested also prison cells. They pointed them also for psychiatry staff, Igor Juršić, Novo Mesto, police officers, if you will, however, blah, 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 you know. Yeah, the first thing they wanted me to point you out based on MK Ultra brainwash simply is this, which I mentioned to you earlier. This is delivery. It's also known as a sklep o zavrženju ovadbe. Just complaint, declined, denied. I should have opened this stuff on the... It will be better through the paint. You'll see this now. I'll do it like this. I'm gonna use the red marker to mark this. Prosimo vas da počakate na navedenem naslovu 11.4.2025. We please ask you to hold on to the address, on a both address, and the address you can see right there, Krka 1, 8000 Novo Mesto, and it's written next to a date which will be April the 11th of 2025, since, as I explained already at the beginning of the video, nobody was at home, I understand, on April 10, 2025. And really, what is going on with this date here? What did Boštjan Poklukar wanted from me to accent about this stuff here? What the hell was this about this stuff here? This stuff here. What's interesting is that it does appear, right? You can see it appears. And as you can see, it appears again here. It again appears here. It appears more often than the original date of this letter. It also appears right here, right? Also appears here, right? So they gave me 15 days for the pickup, which I did on April the 20th of 2025. At later time I did. But the stuff that I did spoke to you about, the death threats pertaining to my father, for which they instigated. If you will not complain by his birthday to the Novo Mesto court, if you will not do this, and if you will not, your father is dead. On the other hand, they insisted to me, this will be the present for your father. We will take everything from you once you complain to the Novo Mesto court of the internet. Telephones, everything. And the psychiatry is back. So, it's not difficult to tell that cretins, as I refer to them as, these are cretins. These are, under no circumstances, the people like this should be taken absolutely anyway as serious, because if you take idiots like this seriously, if you take cretins like this seriously, you become a casualty of cretins like this should never be taken seriously, okay? Beyond work, that kind of stuff, you start to take cretins like this, like, let's say, Miran Sudin, Igor Juršić, and other cretins from Novo Mesto Police Station, from State Prosecutor Service Office. If you take cretins like this seriously, you're going to be seriously mentally injured, because they are in the game to cause trauma, PTSD, together with the Slovenian justice system, literally designed to brain kill you simply through the lies, through like perversion, through completely insane stuff that it's like, I refer to one as I don't even know, Walt Disney of lunacy and open. I don't know what I would refer to Slovenian state as. I don't actually know how I would even refer to the Slovenian state. They told me, yes, it's because you like porn and that kind of stuff. We will do it. It was all, absolutely every millimeter of my life. They went through absolutely everything they could use to get people on their side, and get Vatican and all kinds of people, God-fearing people, all kinds of people concerned for my, they're always concerned for a lot of things. And it's interesting because you have on one side the so-called communists, and these are not communists. This is Putin, basically. These are the people from Balkan ethnic cleansing that remained in the power. It is. It's an ex-old communist, Eastern European communist, Zalega. I don't know how you would say, because thanks to their opposition, newly founded opposition, upon the fall of the Soviet Union, nobody went after them. Nobody opened the files about them, criminal files. It was just dust that collected at them. It what became close cooperation with British Charles, Queen Elizabeth, I should say, British royals, and then White House and all that stuff. They just basically carried on, and wanted to depict themselves as a friends, not as enemies, but as a friends, as somebody who is always willing to work together with them as long as they want to be friendly, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, you can see how that friendliness goes. Yeah, because I watched porn, because I like porn. Yeah, I have to be honest with you. When you spend life jobless, completely cut it's not a long-term unemployment. It's when you're completely cut from employment, when you're completely cut from the right to even stop at the local office to file the unemployment compensation, that kind of stuff, when you don't, mother is paying for it, don't even have the right to physician, because either of the two will trigger ambulance hospitalization through the ambulance vehicle. When you spend life like this, this is just, and I would say to everybody, that just what you do is you dump the Roman Catholic Church, the Protestant Church, you dump your Jesus in a trash bin. You just fucking throw it in a trash bin, if you ask me. Just dump it. Don't go to church no more. Don't go to the church no more. If you go to the church, only go because of your own convictions. Don't go because of the church. Don't go because of the, especially don't go the way they look at you. It was communists, ex-Eastern European communists, that indoctrinated me to see things like this. Yes. They did. They really, really did. They did. And these are not really communists, like I explained. But they did so because they knew how just poisoned I was. They knew just how rejective I was toward them. They poisoned me since I was a little child with crime, with a hatred. And I did not open my eyes for a very, very long time, till I start to understand how it all functions, the life. And I realized just how these so-called Eastern European communists suck the dick from Pope Francis, and how Pope Francis, Vatican people with other popes, how they suck their dick. They suck the dick to one another. Tortured at Vatican. They tortured as priests in other parts of the world. I learned about how they suck dick to one another, talking about Illuminatis. Then you learn that there is no such thing like a communist, and you learn that there is no such thing like a capitalist, and you learn that there is no such thing like a God the way it's depicted in the Bible, the way they preach about, because especially the church is completely immoral, hollow, rotten, basically as it gets institution. A criminal institution as it gets. Porn, I figure out, was in my world, in world of isolation, complete isolation, the way out, the way to freedom. Once I worked at Southern Poverty, South Florida Treatment and Evaluation Center in Miami downtown. I learned from the state employees the importance of getting rid of the stress, and it's why they always get people killed when they subject them to MK Ultra. You know, that's when I actually learned the real importance of jerking off, doing porn, and just basically do whatever the fuck it pleases you. Why and how the hell that happened? Well, imagine that you are completely cut from employment. Imagine that you are completely cut even from having the conversation with your parents. Imagine that you are completely detached from your family, from absolutely everything, that you are just structured in a labyrinth which you are raped from behind with the police, with the psychiatry, through the forced unemployment, actually to keep knocking the door, so that the only door could be open is the doors, I should say employers, that they preemptively already have tortured you at, set their own preconditions and so on for the crime against you, and that this is the way you go since you're a baby, basically, like this throughout the life. So the rules they create, the rules, the controller. You remember Jared Loughner when he talked about the controller? Jared Loughner was actually involved in MK Ultra with the FBI. They were all involved in MK Ultra, and it was about controller and so on. I didn't pay any kind of attention to that stuff, and I advise you not to. In life, I got myself many times literally with I just tried to find something that would look like a camera. Let me just take this, and let's say that this is a camera like this, literally pointing in my face, basically just like this. Whether that was in the booth where I worked as in a parking lot, or at the Southern Florida Treatment Evaluation Center inside of practically psychiatric hospital I used to work inside in there, or whether that be when working for the Wacken Hut, I would literally have a cameras like this on my forehead, and with all this MK Ultra talking about Big Brother is watching, or Big Brother is watching everywhere they fucking watching and stuff like this. I was the only person next to the co-workers that also were involved in this, especially to action me, not only during MK Ultra, but all the time about how they hate the cameras pointed at them, to actually cheer the cameras. I felt good about the cameras. I didn't give a three fuck about, because every time I took the money home, just like any one of you, whatever is the hell you do. What I did not like at all is to talk about the stuff I'm talking about. Like right now I've been already acknowledged by the Vatican priests, by all kinds of priests, by the Communist Party, by whoever out there, as a pervert, as abomination. Pope Francis referred to me as he referred to me as because of the porn. He referred to me as I have no fucking idea, but it's some kind of a very, very obnoxious word that he used. I was absolutely not a saint in the eyes of these people, with exception to when they turned the button on. You know, there was also times when they had to start the engine, you know, bum, 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 bum. And they look my resume and they realize that, you know, obviously this was not for them. They realized that life is a little bit more fucked up, and it was pretty much with all the heroes from Hollywood, with all this sporting, sportsmen, that with all this wannabe and gurus and everything that have gone through life. It was like, till they actually pay attention to it. Once they pay attention to it, if they still insisted, that's not a big deal, because it was always the state that eventually opened, their brain. It was like, all of a sudden, nobody wanted to be in the picture no more. Nobody wanted to go on my skin. The fact of the matter is that in such a regulated society, if you ever, God forbid yourself, you find yourself in my situation, you can see there's a lot of guys under the bridge and girls, and also inside of the forest and whatever you are. It's people isolated and dumped into psychiatric hospitals and killed, and it's all kinds of stuff that goes on. Man, you have to learn to play by your own rules. You have to set your own rules, and those are the rules that whatever works for you. All through, I must tell you that inside of the system, talking about the prison system, because my life was composed out of the prison system, with sometimes being dumped inside of the psychiatric system, beginning the 2012, I should say, and the rest inside of the school institution or military institution or high school or wherever that might be institution. It was always, if it was a worker involved, it was always the stuff that was done in such a way that it would be regulated to the last, millimeter, everything basically according to the rules they created. And those rules have absolutely nothing to do with the laws. Laws were used to be misused. Basically, laws were used for them. Laws were used basically to protect them. As far as myself, I was referred also during MK Ultra as No Man is Land, basically. That was the name of the movie. No Man is Land was titled according to me. Any Hollywood producer, any Balkan producer, Kusturica and so on were involved. Anybody who ever counted anything was involved in this case. And they literally were using me for their projects to evaluate the stress, to see what it is for one subconsciously tortured, see himself in his position, his view, as they wanted to project through the big screen to the people. If you understand what I say, you have to create in a lawless world like this, design, to get one killed, corner one, then destroy one, waste one, You have to design your own laws. And I'm not saying that those must be immoral laws, because I never ever did any kind of pedophilia stuff, anything that would have to do with underage children, anything like this. But, whatever is out there that pleases you, I am straight person, I can say that. Whatever is that pleases you, and it really does not matter. And it really doesn't matter, even whatever, Whatever is that pleases you out there. Under MK Ultra, I did liked also those Thai lady boys, and there were also men that were very appealing to me. So listen, whatever the hell you do, it's completely up to you. But you have to do it in such a way so that you're gonna be fulfilling your needs that you need for you to move on. You understand? Because you do have to move on. No matter what the fuck you do, is your life is short, it's tough. Once you feel you have enough under your skin knowledge that you can do the stuff, and they're gonna talk to you all the time that you have enough, that you already know enough, that you can do your project. Come on, do your stuff, and so on. Do your stuff when it's convenient for you, if you're gonna do it, and really nobody has the right to talk to you like this. This is really police that not supposed to allow this. It's police that does this kind of stuff. Nasty, ugly stuff, beyond criminal stuff, perversion, a total perversion, with their European Union commissioners such as Ursula von der Leyen, all God-fearing people like Donald Trump, all this, royals that are so well behaved, that they are just, with the priests, and all this stuff. All this elite that is so, people dressed up so nice in ties, as a FBI, as a CIA, all this morally correct people, they are not morally correct. I am a proof they're perverts. And so many of you have seen me. I am real. These people up to no fucking good. Sorry. First, if you're a criminal, you're a criminal. Then you're Pope. Then you're a royal, king, prince, whatever it is that you are, or duke, or whatever the fuck you are. Prime minister, minister, police officer and teacher and cook and cleaner, or whatever it is that you are. Because that word that I stated comes even before your name. Then everything else comes in addition to that. Just think about that stuff. Whatever the hell in life you do, you should always do, just as I learned finally, because I was doing stuff in my life anyways, whatever the hell I was doing I didn't even know why the hell I was doing it. I was doing it because I liked it. Because I was in a situation I could not go out there and get the job based on my education. First of all, I had to run from Slovenia for my life. First of all, I had to run out of Europe for my life. In Austria, they came after me, where I immigrated, where I spent time jobless. And I had to find a way to go as far as possible. Now, Australia was too far because there was no way to get to Australia. But the United States of America was right of the job market. It was $3,500 that I paid for the ticket to USA. Spent $3,500 for it to get, actually no, excuse me, I have no idea. I think the ticket was 1,800 American dollars, the ticket, the plane ticket. With the fees, it was over $2,000. So it was good time that I spent on the ship, worked like a slave for just really small amounts of money before I even got the money back that I paid for the ticket. And then I got married to the much older lady. I'm not going to say that my life somehow did not get together in no way, no how. But going back to Slovenia, where they death threatened me with prior to departure, labeling me literally a general hospital novo mesto is insane. Such was the story with neighbor Igor Kotar, and such was the story with a boss from Novo Mesto General Hospital at the time. It doesn't come to me right now his name. A big chunky guy, a good friend of Igor Kotar also, who threatened, if you're gonna leave the United States, we're gonna label you as mentally insane. They play with the psychiatry already during my high school, had literally social workers, psychiatrists, and police officers stalk me through the city when I would finish the school, and I went to the city just to see the shopping, just to get my brain off the shit that went on inside of the school. They would have a social workers, police officers going right next to me, stalking me literally, conversing with me. If I would go ask something inside of the store, I would have a police officer coming next to me, asking, giving us signals like this to the salesperson to disregard me and so on. Do you understand what the fuck I'm talking about? Do you understand the definition of Slovenian nation, of Slovenian state, or one actually what composed out of? This already was it was not yet in independent Slovenian state, however it continued through Slovenian state, independent Slovenian state. And so what exactly are the chances to work for free 80 hours per week for $100 that you're gonna get anywhere in life? And the type of work they selected was the type of work that you would basically take a hammer and bang, 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 like you would fall in love basically with banging hammer. That kind of stuff. Stupid shit. What kind of fuck is that? Obviously this is about life. And so if you find yourself in a regulated world, lawless world like this, then you do have to find, in the United States, they would introduce me the ladies, young girls. However, any of those ladies would be really a shortcut back to Slovenia, straight to the Milan Kučan. Was the US immigration, so I'd rather stay loyal to my much older wife who helped me get citizenship, at least maintain somewhat somehow stay in the United States, which I have used, however, also to educate myself, improve my language, go through the law enforcement program for me to become a law enforcement, basically self-tutored myself, or prepare myself. I did really good on those tests and so on. And whenever was chance, collect, paychecks through employment, whatever they would allow that stuff to be, under whatever conditions. Basically really humble and just doing my stuff. A very, very difficult thing to do, so that if you ever find yourself in my situation, make sure you have enough to lean on something. Nobody's more convenient than yourself in a situation like this. Slovenia is extreme. That should not even be on the map. You don't want Slovenia on the map. If Slovenia is going to stay on the map, Slovenia sets a really, really bad example for you people in the United States of America, because when the case like this comes to reality and there is a country that actually stuff like this was done, it's just a matter of another country, another individual, more of you getting fucked like this in your own countries. This is the country that should not be absolutely anywhere on the map. It is just as simple. It's a lawless country, completely uncivilized, barbaric, criminal country that inherited my genocide case since Josip Broz Tito during Yugoslavia since 1972. And they somehow did not manage, but what they did was they expanded and expanded and expanded as much as possible so that it would become, I'm not going to say that could retract back or whatever, but simply so big that it would just swallow the whole world. Slovenia started the World War III. The one also you can see today is in Ukraine, and you can see some happening over there on the border with Pakistan, India, and Houthis, Israel over there through Palestine, Lebanon, Jordan, and so on and so forth. You don't want to have this kind of stuff going on, man. You do want to live by the laws. You do want to live by international conventions that you created after the World War II so that history would not repeat, so that you could all work together, etc., etc., etc. It is better for your own good. So, whatever it is that you do in life, do to release your stress. The question at Southern Florida Treatment Evaluation Center was, what do you do to release your stress? And I thought I was so cool. I go fishing and shit. Well, this is like a food, actually. You should eat a little bit of everything, they say, and yeah, you should do a little bit of everything, in my opinion, to get rid of the stress. And once you get rid of the stress, you can actually even be perhaps productive. Imagine that police officers, Nurse Yanko from Home for Elderly People guaranteed me, he claimed, you will go off at one time, for sure you will go off at one time, with ambulance vehicles stalking you throughout the city. There will be one occasion when you will go off, for sure you'll go off. One time for sure you're going to assault the ambulance vehicle. We have so many ambulance vehicles involved in MK Ultra. Every fucking ambulance worker was involved in MK Ultra from General Hospital Novo Mesto. Modern involvement of ambulance vehicles, and those were really bad. Like, I would go sleep, you go sleep. After 1 hour, hour and a half is what police officer told me. Between 1 hour and a half and 2 hours is where we get you. You find yourself right outside of your house, right in the street of the village, and you've been taken from house to house for a torture, with some exceptionally crazy torture being done by the people who tell you, we're gonna knock on your ring to wake you up, wakey. Ambulance vehicles coming from the city, asking in front of you, a whole gang of people from the village, where is Ausis Boštjan? Which house is it? Because we are looking for him, we are taking him to psychiatric hospital. This is the shit they were doing to me here in Slovenia. Prior to hospitalization in 2012, during hospitalization in 2012, it will all depend whatever you will say about the Serbia and about the Russia and about what I earlier mentioned is as Eastern European communists. That's what will all depend on. 4 hours on the street, back in the bed, pring, pring, wakey. Practically you didn't get sleep. Your heart, your brain, everything is under stress, with people knocking on your door that just a little earlier death threatened you, kicked you, spit in you, insult you, so that you could go off when it's a pling pling. Do you understand? Do you understand the shit I'm talking about? Do you even understand the implication of this Slovenian state? What the fuck this is? You don't want to use whatever the fuck you makes you pleased, disregarding the people that look at you bad because you didn't have a internet service provider from Slovenia stating to me, we saw you that you went to the porn site, that you did this, that you know, whatever, you jerking off or whatever you do. I will remind you when you come outside of the building, when you step on I'm your neighbor. I'm another neighbor. I'm your co-worker. I am whatever the fuck you are. Do the hell whatever it makes you please. Just like you remember the cameras? To release yourself of stress. Whatever the fuck you do, and the most important thing is that you feel good about yourself. And with the knowledge I gave in this video, you should. Because the knowledge is that empowers you. You're gonna say, me too, me too, me too. Yes, because it's human. And you do have to find a way to survive. And this shit is more serious. If God forbid you ever find yourself in one, then you alone would give yourself credit for. Absolutely, because it's not underrated, it's undermined. You understand? It's undermined. It's undermined. They write in the media about the stuff they want to write about. It's a culture of bullshit, lies. The main culture, Christian culture, composes of lies, of crap. They load you with. And I'm not saying other cultures any better, because probably it's even worse. In some cultures, if you watch porn, they just chop your hands or whatever it is that you do. They take your ears off or whatever, nose, whatever. I don't care. Whatever the hell you need to do, you do. I don't care what is it you do. But the stress that they do, they kill the people through the stress. It's a big fucking thing. It's a big issue. Which, of course, just as I stated earlier, it also pertains to this insane stuff right here for which they claimed me. Oh well, if it's not gonna be by the 11th, they told me what's going on that other date. Yes, it's that other date because I picked it up on 20. I signed it on 20, and because I signed it on 20, I pick it up on 20. It's 30 days. Breznik have written me. I got time to respond this through the Novo Mesto court. You know, there was this girl that I met a few days ago from Quebec. Canadian girl. And she was not the only one. She spent a lot of time here in Slovenia that pop up exactly for this issue. Many girls that pop up for these issues, and they were very concerned for this. They told me, in fact, some of them insisted you shouldn't even go and complain to the Slovenian court. You should just go and send this to, other institution outside of the Slovenia. Isn't that fucking sad? When so many people was involved in it, and they were giving me advice about what and how to do in the case, in such a fucking mindless, insane case like this. Yet the case is here basically for some scumbags literally to play with whatever I have left out of life, and they burned me 53 years of life like this. Isn't it fucking sad that you more than just knew about it, because you sent me from United Nations, from Court for Human Rights in Strasbourg affiliated people, from US Justice Department of State affiliated, FBI, Canada, Canadian, all kinds of people from all over the world to insist me that I must send this complaint out of the Slovenia, and so on and so forth, with people completely confused about this shit, about this stage here. Completely insane letter from this Sonia Breznik, state prosecutor, that totally had nothing to do with reality. Isn't that fucking sad? They had so many people giving instructions, study this but themselves, and I just couldn't see the fucking way out, and stressing me with a shit like this at age 53, so that I somehow would just see it your way. Or maybe even sit inside of the Ukrainian car and drive to Ukraine out of here, as Prince Charles hallucinated about, etc., etc., all kinds of scenarios he involved in. It's going to be people that you're just going to disappear from here and so on. I ain't going to be fucking disappearing anywhere. The one who's going to disappear is you, boy, not me. I'm realistic, down on earth. I ain't no god, and I don't want to be no king. You fucking hallucinating that just anything can be done with the people, and I'm here to prove you the only thing you can do in this case is kill me. Kamor je šel štrik, naj gre pa še bik. Wherever the rope went, actually, excuse me, kamor je šel bik, naj gre pa še štrik. Wherever the bull went, it doesn't matter the rope. You understand? The bull that is on the rope, if the bull gets lost, you don't give a fuck about the rope, do you? You don't play here with me. I'm not here to play, waste anybody's time. I'm here to strike back, to demonstrate really the world we live in, the type of democracy we subsist here. How far this case have gone. The real level of conscience, the real level of morality, human morality, and all other issues that apply to these elites who flash in the public. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Flashing out people, showing yourself up, and I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. I don't care about it. But how that makes you, how this video makes you look in people's eyes when they consider the stuff I had to say about this case, when you flash around with me for so long, and you still do, with police looking from the side, waiting to do more harm, or maybe get assistance from your other officials, you all used to bail one another from this crime. It's like a magic circle that goes around, magic goes around, and it never fucking stops. This is a power, but nothing other than pure crime. From International Criminal Court, United Nations, European Court for Human Rights, commissioners, ombudsmen, US Justice Department, state, etc., etc., etc. Stress so big that people didn't even know how the fuck they would, what I should, if they were in my shoes, how to respond this kind of degree of lunacy anymore. And the lunacy is incredible, especially because what Milan Kucan had prepared, just as I explained, pointed out, since my childhood, did not come to any realization. As much as people are trying to portray me as a complete lunatic, a complete whack job, I somehow don't look like a whack job. I look more realistic, real, than a whack job. Weirdo, crazy, and so on and so forth. Yes, maybe sometimes, but you know, only to make you look good. I did that kind of stuff too. Why I did that kind of stuff? To hammer you even more. To seed the doubt in people even more. So that it can grow and grow and grow in a human conscience, and so they can see you scum for what you are. At no other time was I a whack job. A present, therefore, for my father's birthday, for which my own father, my poor father, whom they have used, claimed me. If it's not going to be even by then, you're just going to pull the tube out of my stomach or do whatever you do with me, etc., etc., etc. So how crazy is this kind of stuff? How crazy is this kind of stuff? How insane is this kinds of stuff? See nothing, hear nothing, know nothing stuff. How insane is this kind of stuff? It's insane, but you love it, and that's why we have this show going on. For every fucking crime, this is how pathetic this Slovenian nation is. This is how pathetic they are. And I did explain to you what they did with my father. The war, what they did with all this. For every crime for the last 3 years, this went on more time, because my father knew that his time is counted, because they talked to him like Robert Golob talked to him like, you're done already, like you fucking don't exist even, you dead already. You dead already. Gregor Golobic talked to my father, you dead already, basically. You're dead already. With Igor Juršić, with Janez Ogulin, you're dead already. You're already dead. Like this, they talk to you. We just need you to do this, we just need you to do that. And it was, uredu fantje, okay guys, okay. And they wanted to, they're so fucking miserable that they couldn't even go and kill the father without my assistance. Do you understand what the fuck I'm saying? Well, you know how fucking rotten this is? Since I was child, I listened about Italian mafia. Italian mafia, you know, good. Italian mafia this, Italian mafia, you know, in Italy, you have to pay this in Italy. You know, Italy. Italy, you know, mafia, they collect. If you don't pay, you know, the mafia. I am not defending mafia. But this Slovenian communist shit, and it's really not a communist. I don't want to make people that are worthy, all kinds of people are worthy. This case, myself, without the prostitutes, and I never used prostitutes, technically, in real life I never did. Without the prostitutes I would not even be alive. You understand me? Without the prostitutes you would not even get to see me. Without the women involved in this shit, and it doesn't matter if they treat me like a bitch or whatever they did with me, it doesn't really matter. Without my having ability to jerk off myself, seeing a human body affiliated at least to something in this emptiness, you would not even hear about, you would not even see me. I would absolutely be nowhere. This Slovenian scum, filth, dung, were doing their best. to create in my head using my father his fucking birthday. Do you remember when I complained about they complain about my mistreating them for his birthday that he had in front of the house? This Boštjan Poklukar, this Minister of Interior in Slovenia, together with the state prosecutors and so on. They absolutely wanted the permission from me. They wanted for me to see my father as devil. See this shit here? See this telephone right there? Telephones, no phone, this lady here, this, just see this stuff here. What I wrote today to the Alexander Vucic, I'm gonna rip head off his shoulders. And I mean it. I did curse my father because of his behavior at home for elderly people. Where I was going there to help him out, to help him out, to help him out. Doing my best to rehabilitate him, to get back him muscles so that he can come home, so that I can get him home. But I realized that this filthy scum Slovenian, my God, they aren't even fucking capable to kill him without my cursing him out. How fucking disgusting this shit is. Let me go and demonstrate you something. Remember when I took those telephones? And you did watch my program. You did. You watched my program. You saw my program. You saw it. You saw my program. So you know what the fuck I'm talking about. What they interpreted to me, talking about my niece's husband, psychiatrist, cop, police, look, is still here. My mother would not allow me to cover this here, based on MK Ultra scenario, so that is what they interpreted it as a father's grave. My story would really look like I'm a complete fucking lunatic. But it appears more and more that there is people that are so fucking crazy involved in this case that without indisputably are a lunacy champions of the world. There's nothing so crazy about me. That's why I show you those telephones. So I wanted you to see this firsthand on this video. I don't want to play you a video or something like that. I want you to see it with your own eyes. This is the stuff they were playing with during MK Ultra. The grave that you have seen right there, the grave imitation, that's what they claimed me. Do you see this? Do you see that this is the grave? This is what you have done to the father. And I have niece's husband, who did not even go to visit my father for 2 years. That threatened me during MK Ultra. Together with police stressing that it's because of me that I gave the approval and so on to get my father killed and so on. My niece's husband, Mitja Weber is his name, and Urška Golob, that's his wife, insisted me during MK Ultra in 2014 that I was the one because of whom the father will be killed. that's, I think it's like 15 years younger than myself, or 10 years. I don't know how younger this man is, but this is a much younger man. Was nowhere in this world where I already have gone through a whole lot of stuff. And this piece of shit, who have gone through absolutely nothing in this life, came in my face practically at my age 42 to say to me, hey man, you know, you're the one, actually practically after 42 years of torture, 41 years of torture, in which he was involved personally. By the way, Hannah's gonna get killed because of you, and I'm gonna leave this unearthed, so that's gonna remind you of his grave and this and that. Yeah. In a similar fashion, they did the stuff behind the village. I keep video recording. I'm gonna present that issue also. Method Yerman was involved in that one. A road did not even exist anywhere. There was nothing paved over there yet. Yet they were using other road, and they were also bringing the bench they were placing there. And behind the bench they would create like a grave right behind, doing stupid shit. So, what do you think about this Sonia Breznik and about this letter and about their assistance helping me out, even in respect to the letter delivery, which was not delivered on my father's birthday, but I should say anniversary on 11. You see that it's 11, the month is 11, and now it's May 2025. In 3 days my father is going to have a birthday. He's going to be 94 years old. So what the hell do you think about this kind of stuff? What do you think about how the hell that makes you feel, for you to be driven completely insane through the psychiatry, something that have nothing to do with it, and have people dance around, just as like pointed out right here. If I'm not going to find anything else that I can point out, I can still scroll down here and there is a whole set of this total lunacy that they instigated in on how my father and why one should be killed just for the birthday, prior to the birthday, and so on and so forth. It's right here that I have posted stuff, updates in respect to the father. And also this video is also going to be posted because it concerns directly assassination threats of my father that involve Poklukar, aha, yeah, because it's a problem because I did put the links here only. This is a total fucking lunacy, but this shit is connected to the British Royal. This is the time when it started with his hospitalization. This is when it all started. This is when they started the stuff. So, you know. And based on MK Ultra, this last Father's Day news from Prince William, this was all related to hospitalization of my father. Re-stroke business. So, explain me, how the fuck would that make you feel, all this stuff? How would that work for you? How would that done it? British Royals research on how to rehabilitate my father's eyesight. They acted in my face with it. And I'm sure that you understand, laying on the bed doesn't exactly help with one's vision, because this stuff is related to the diabetes. It's going to have a very hard impact on me too. I'll talk about Macula. Talking about the macula. Something they promised to my father already is going to have. Pooh! It was exactly Robert Golob who promised my father he's going to get blind. I think it was in 1998, 1997, holding the file, the medical files, of the stuff that Robert Golob claimed together with Milan Kučan needed to be done. It was all done through the UKC, Ljubljana UKC. Ljubljana is University Clinic Hospital. This scum here, this shit here, supposedly, according to Milan Kučan, Robert Golob, their physicians have written exactly the program of complete devastation for my father and for me. All the sicknesses they started to play with. Is this good like this? That's fine and make you feel good? It's like this. It's like how you do it in Britain. It's like west part of the Western culture. You do it like this. You know, the stuff I talk about disseminates around the world with more and more people like this affected with this kind of issues. A mailing business which Slovenian state police started. Theft of the items that was not known, in my opinion, to mankind prior to Slovenia. Spread throughout Brazil, throughout Argentina. I had more and more people from the US even reporting me about police officers that they do this stuff to certain people and stuff like that. That's a fucking lunacy. It's a fucking lunacy. The world is going to keep moving in the tracks of Slovenia and Slovenian shoes. World is going to come to the brief end, to the sharp end. The humanity is going to end in hell. We're all going to fucking kill one another with so much hatred. As to Slovenia didn't have anything to offer in my case other than hatred. And it continues to offer this hatred even at age, well, I'm 53 and the father is going to be 93 years old in just 3 days. That sure does not make Slovenia look good, desperate to actually, for me to curse my father on a deathbed for his birthday. That Slovenian state previously had used in 2012, as also had people like Janez Janša, Lojze Peterle. We have this famous guy, his name is Aleš, very, very influential guy. At these state prosecutors, all these people, Mira Sudin, that triggered this hospitalization, they insisted me, that's a husband of Natasha Pirc-Musar who was involved in it. Aleš Hojs, all these people, they have, some are playing this and others are playing that. It was a Slovenian parliament, but sarcastically they said this is how much I am a blind man in respect to this stuff, because it takes time to call the people out, and I did not go and study the faces enough to take time and go pertaining to certain crimes like this one, who said this. But they told me even that this would be retaliation for the stuff that he did to you for the psychiatric hospitalization in 2012, when in fact it was the Slovenian state that did all this stuff. Slovenian parliament, Slovenian Supreme Court, Slovenian justice system did this stuff. Slovenian people, of some 10,000 individuals that were involved in it, were all see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing about this. There was every journalist in Slovenia involved in this. Entire police force knew about this. They were delivering me to Tacen school, Slovenian police school academy, to flash with me in front of police officers for them to become acquainted with. 10,000 is a very, very small number. Yeah, it was all good like this to go about this, and they wanted to create a massacre between me and father all the way to the grave, so they could say, well, you know, your wish came true for the father's birthday. This was the stuff that went on during MK Ultra. They literally wanted me to curse my father through the Slovenian crime against me. This is about as sick as it gets. Designed by Bojan Zalar, boss of the psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje, psychiatrist Peter Kapš, police, Milan Kučan, Golob, Golobic, and so on. The sickest people that I have ever known for existed. People that make you understand that there is no need to read about stuff that happened in the world when you have one right in your backyard, basically, front yard and backyard. True scum to humanity. So the first proof they wanted me to point in your eyes, people, about deliberate crime, and what they did to the father is difficult to even describe. Is exactly this here, is this stuff that I pointed you out here. His birthday anniversary, if you will not deliver a complaint by then and your father is suffering and so on, I will just release your father of the pain and suffering and so on his birthday or around the birthday, before the birthday. Father wanted before the birthday. He was begging them to get killed practically. So what kind of scum is this? What kind of people is this? What kind of people the fuck is this? What kind of people are we talking about? What kind of humans the fuck are we talking about? How much is humane in these people? Good. Because that's what I wanted to share with you in this video. They encouraged me to share this with you, and I am sharing it with you. I want you to pay attention to this issue as first. The first crime was the delivery of the letter itself, of this the letter, this one right here that you see from Sonia Breznik, State Prosecutor Sonia Breznik, letter which was sent to me through her, literally, by this department known as well, let's just take one example of this letter, State Prosecutor letter. They are trying their best. They are trying their best for me to curse my father, my mother, psychiatrist, cops, novo mesto, police investigators, all the politicians, Gregor Golobic, Golob, all the politicians, state prosecutors, and so on. They figure out together with the King Charles, with the British, that would be just the best for me to forget about the father, leave my father behind some way, one way or the other, and better off, healthier therefore for me to curse one out, that it was no good, up to no good anyways, etc., etc. With even what became involvement into a canalization that I demonstrated you, you would be surprised about this. You would be very, very deeply touched by this here. It's something, however, that I have not even reported about yet. My mother would leave me on the desk an envelope with which she just insisted that during MK Ultra, also mistreated father right in front of me, insisted me that we gotta use this one here. Insisted me that this is the stuff I demonstrated you earlier behind the house, that my father was the one who screwed up the whole thing, that it should be done by the state, this thing, and he went on to do this in private, so that he would save the money and stuff like this, and he did everything wrong, and now he screwed up. You remember the stuff I did on canalization when it turned out for Robert Golob and Gregor Golobic to be behind the crime, after I have even proven they have used a plumber to literally deliberately clog with a glue pipe system in what possibly might have been even more. There might be even hole they drilled into the piping system, I suspect, because it's the water somehow that surfaced, in my opinion, way above there might be something, coupling or something that is loose, not loose, but not properly connected, or drilled, broken somehow, that they managed to penetrate through. I believe they did the job like that, and the water simply, as you flush one downstairs, since it was clogged, since they glued some shit on it, obstruct the water flow, and that was the reason that the water started to collect even at the entrance of the house. Through the fundament somehow had to flow in that direction. So this is the only way. So when I consider all this stuff, that my mother even left me an envelope to remind me of mistreating my father during MK Ultra. She thought that I'm gonna see him as a piece of shit because of many issues that he was involved. He was involved in incitement into a paranoia through this canal issue. The police have used him for many issues, of which this was one of the big issues they anticipated. I'm going to start to blame him, that he was involved in it, that they're going to build a negative attitude in me. This is very, very important, this stuff. I'm going to put another video about my mother who left a white envelope like this, telling to the father, the only thing I need you is to pay for canalization, and then I want to get canalization fixed, and then I don't want you anymore. This is how she acted in front of me. They incited in hatred against father like you would not believe. I did not report, and the one who did was my own mother, for whom I told you, just like for the case of Miran Sudin, Robert Golob, Milan Kuchan, Gregor Golobic referred to my mother as psychiatrist, police officer, psychiatrist and a police officer, private psychiatry and a police officer, just as they have referred to Miran Sudin as private state prosecutor, psychiatrist and police officer. Have used at home to drive me crazy with these issues. Obviously, I need a real police assistance to get uniformed criminals out of the police station on the court on a trial so that things can move on. Obviously there's that I am drowning in the crime, and obviously the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to warn about this issue before I even go to translate those audios and stuff that United Nations, ICC, everybody demanded from me to get translated. Obviously the first thing that it starts with this shit. Incitement in hatred against my father. Literally giving me ultimatum to submit, conditioning me with his death basically to submit complaint to the local court of Novo Mesto, or see father dead, perishing. This is where we all start. This is where it all starts. Thanks for watching this video. It makes no sense for me to say till next time because it's quite a few videos I still have to do, finish. So before I'm going to be able to move on from this point of, I am translating now all the videos, all the audios from the police station, from A to Z, all those meetings I have gone through to prove that I have displayed nothing other than absolute sanity. In fact, a better diplomacy, a more educated approach than any attorney, lawyer would found to represent either his own case or a client. Yes, I was extremely diplomatic. I was extremely smart, intelligent about it. And yes, absolutely everything written here in this paper is just lunacy. Has nothing to do with anything that went on.